The Mets owner, Steve Cohen, doesn't like how things are going with Pete Alonso. This is what Cohen said per SNY. I'm being brutally honest. I don't like the negotiations. I don't like what's been presented to us. And, listen, maybe that changes. And certainly I'll always be I'll always stay flexible. If it stays this way, I think we're going to have to get used to the fact that we may have to go forward with the existing players that we have.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Wah, wah.
not liking the offer that's put on the table by Scott Boras. Speaking of Boras, Scotty B, this is what he said. This is per The Athletic. He said, Pete's free agent contract structure requests are identical to the standards and practices of other clubs who have signed similarly situated qualifying offer all-star level players. Nothing different, just established fairness standards. By the way, does it get more legalese than standards and practices?
Nope. Nope. That's a CYA. Don't pay attention. Don't look too deeply.
Yeah. Well, so what is this compared to? It's standards and practices. Just trust me on that one.
Right.
That's
exactly.
standard. Yeah.
Don't look into it. Just don't.
So I know
this.
how I would respond. So I know how I would respond as Pete Alonso. But I'm curious, Brig, how were you responding if you're Pete Alonso to this?
To Steve or to Scotty B?
Scotty B represents you. So he
I know, but I'd be having
has your best interests in mind.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, heavy air quotes on that.
No, Cohen. Still, you're responding to Steve Cohen saying this. That I don't like the negotiations. I don't like what's been presented to us. Yeah. What do you think of your Pete Alonso?
This is the part where the business and the emotions have to be separated. That's the problem. Because emotionally, you're thinking, "Come on, dude! Like, you don't want me? Have we not had a good thing going? Come on now, what's going on here? What is it?" When it's very likely Scotty B, right? But
right.
I would also be feeling at least a little bit like, okay, if you're going to do that with Juan Soto, why can't you throw a little peanut my way, right?
Give me a little bit of that pie. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You've gone off. You've been popping off for a couple of years now about how deep pockets. We've got the will to win. We're going to spend. We're going to do whatever it takes. And now you're going to quibble. And we don't know what the details are. But if he's feeling like Steve Cohen is out in the public saying, we'll do whatever it takes, and then he feels like he's being quibbled with, then maybe I'd be upset.
Right. Exactly right. That's how I feel. Last week we talked about how the Padres said, we want guys who want to be here. If I'm Pete Alonso, I want to be somewhere where they want me to be.
Totally.
Because, like you said, Steve Cohen has basically said, I'll spend whatever it takes. I will buy us a World Series. I'm sorry. You get worse when Pete Alonso leaves that team. You do not get better without Pete Alonso.
It's a short list of keeping that ballast even.
Even Pete Alonso in a down year that he had this last year, you get worse without him.
Yep.
You need to make it happen. If I'm Pete Alonso, at this point I'm just like, you know what?
Cool.
I'm going to take less, guaranteed, but you're not giving me what I'm worth. You're not giving me a fraction of the Soto deal. And I understand, and you give him anything, it's a fraction of the Soto deal. But I mean talking like commensurate, right? If you're going to give one guy who plays one position, who comes at the bat once a game, moderately well in the outfield,
right?
That Gold Glove nominee or finalist still blows my mind. And you're going to give him that much money, and you're not going to give me some commensurate level of that, I'm gone. And I'll go take what you're going to give me somewhere where they want me to be.
Yeah. And he has been, he's been a mainstay on the team for long enough now.
6 years.
That you got to, with all the, he's a butts and seats guy with all that polar bear hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough, man. That's tough.
It is. So I know there have been some people who have been saying, like, there's a chance that it happens, but I don't think he plays for the Mets next year. What do you, or I guess this year. It is this year.
Yeah. I think if it comes down to the dollars, it'll happen. I could see a 1-year deal taking place as, like, let's see if we can mend fences. But probably not. There's no reason for that unless they're looking at the down year that he had and saying, like, well, and if they're leveraging that, maybe they'll want to offer it on their side. They'll want to do it. I don't know. I wouldn't take it if I was him. No way.
That's part of the problem with it is that, like, even though you know what you're getting from a guy, the front offices are still like, well, yeah, but statistically speaking, it's like, well, that was an anomaly, but it's still on paper. So,
they still have
means
to do
that's
that.
something you're capable of. So, I have a problem with that to some degree. But anyway, that's probably why I don't run a baseball team.